What's up, Itobet? So I'll take a look at the Pwcc weekly auctions that are going on right now, and I will share my perspective about a couple of items that I think are relevant for the soccer card market. But before I go into that, let me ask you for one thing. If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, oh man, that means a lot. Now, a couple of things. I leave a link on my description for my Patreon community, the best place if you want to support me. I try to put content there very regular, and I also leave a link for my Discord server. We are more than 1,000 members there. Feel free to join, totally free. That said, let's go into the video, and I hope you find some value. Okay, my friends, so there is a lot of great cards ending this week on Pwcc, also next week. I believe Pwcc is one of the best places to buy soccer cards. I've been saying this for long, even before being partnered with them. And talking about that, if you want to support the channel, feel free to check the links I leave on the description. I leave a link to Pwcc. If you guys buy something, I may get a commission. Same logic goes for the QR code you are seeing on the screen. Feel free to scan it. Like I said, you may support the channel. Now, let's start with this. I end up selecting a couple of cards that I think are relevant to talk about. I like to select cards that are different, that I can bring different points. And starting with two PLS, in this case the first one is 58 Ave Coleção Titulares, SCC3. This is actually a beautiful copy. I was checking and I thought it was a really nice one. You can see that Pwcc also puts the Pwcc certified eye appealing rating top 30%. It's already at 1.6k. The PLE market, if you guys are not aware, have been suffering a bit, specifically comparing, for example, with 1 year ago. I guess you can say the same logic applies to a lot of cards in the market, and that's true. But I'm really curious to see how such a beautiful copy will perform. Going to another beautiful PLE, we have the Aquarelle Black Back. This is also a PSA 3. I don't get why PSA puts those cards in such big slabs, but in terms of appealing, a lot of people tend to say this is the most beautiful PLE overall, at least the ones that are accessible to most of us. And I tend to agree that this is one of the most beautiful PLEs. I'm not sure if this is number 1, number 2, number 3, but for sure is a beautiful card. And again, down quite a lot. PSA 1s, PSA 2s are selling around 1k, 2k, if I'm not mistaken. A PSA 3 probably will have some premium. I would assume around 2.5k to 3.5k should be where this ends, but the market is a bit soft, and being on this big slab, I also don't think it helps the card. Now, moving on to another card, you guys can see I cannot bid on this one. What's the reason for that, Andre? Because this card is mine. It's mine at least until Sunday. This is one of my Mundi Cromos. The reason I'm selling this one is I have multiple copies, and I'm also upgrading to a BGS 9.5. The deal is not done, but I guess I can share with you guys first here. If the deal for some reason does not go down, that's also fine. I will move on to other copy or try to even save for a PSA 10 eventually, since those are down quite a lot. This is one of my best copies. PSA 9, you can see centering is actually quite good. Do not bid on this card just because it's me, but you guys know my opinion about Mundi Chrome 2004. I think this is a tremendous card for Lionel Messi. Talking about Lionel Messi, we have a couple of autos, and let's start with the Panini Treble Auto. You can see Panini Treble, very popular set right now, not because of the autos, even though those are also crazy cool, but the problem I have with this card is looking at what people tend to say, and you should do your own research on this front, by the way. This could be a fake auto for Lionel Messi. So take a look at the Leaf card. You can see the auto is quite different here versus here. This the thing on the bottom is much larger than it is on this one. We also have another Messi right there. You can see it's similar to the Leaf one. So this is the auto that people tend to believe is real for Lionel Messi. There is a lot of controversy about this topic. I believe some representative of Pwcc also end up talking about this. Go to my Discord, search for that, and you guys will find a lot of information. Sharing with you what I know. I tend to believe this could be a fake auto. Otherwise, this would be a tremendous card for Lionel Messi. This one impresses me a bit. I know he's out of 3, and of course we have 3 GOATs, Pelé, Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. He's already at 1k. I would say almost 100%, I don't like Leaf. But again, different tastes and nothing wrong with that. Moving on to a card that in this case I like quite a lot is Maradona Panini Calciatore 79. This is a tremendous copy. I was also looking at this one, and apart from centering, looks really nice. You can argue this is the most iconic card for Maradona, even though it will be a bit debatable with 77 disc or even the 78 releases, but for sure is the most Panini card, the most iconic Panini card / sticker for Maradona, without a doubt. At the peak of the market, there was a super crazy sale that I believe never got confirmed for a PSA 10, even though I believe the PSA 10 is still Pop 1. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments, but this is a tremendous copy and a card that I really love for Maradona. I believe at one point was the most upgraded card in vintage, if you consider this vintage. Right now, probably still top 3, maybe even top 1. I know the Aquarellas are also up there. Moving on now to modern, we have 2014 Panini Prism Red Lionel Messi. Great card, I mean, a set that people tend to collect heavily. I'm gonna be honest again, I don't like the red background for Messi. I like the blue, I like, for example, the green crystals, of course I like the gold, but the red never, I don't know, is not for me. Also, even the purple, I'm a bit whatever. I like color match when it comes to Prism. I think, for example, Top Scrum does a much better job when it comes to different parallels. I think all of them tend to look great with Prism. And again, this is just my perspective. I don't like, for example, Messi with red. On the other hand, Ronaldo with red looks quite amazing. Ronaldo with blue looks Messi with blue looks amazing. Still talking about Messi, we have a PSA 10 2006 Panini World Cup. Tremendous card, 850. At one point, if you guys are not aware, those cards end up going for 30k, which almost seems a joke now. They are down a lot. Actually, I don't remember what are the prices for those. If I had to guess, this is from the top of my head, maybe I'm wrong, but I would say maybe 2k, 3k right now. I could be wrong. Still a super iconic card for Messi, but a bit common. Even on PSA 10s, the numbers, the gem rate is low, but the numbers are still high. Talking about another interesting card, we have Panini Father's Day Mbappe. Normally this type of sets I tend to not like at all, but in this case for me this is an exception. Why? Because this is the only card with the rookie logo for Mbappe. I also think it's a beautiful card, so people tend to consider this rookie for logic reasons, and I think it is a really cool card if you are a Mbappe collector. I don't think even in this parallel is out of 50, but let's say that I'm not even sure, but let's say there is a parallel out of 10, out of 25. I don't think those cards can compete, for example, with Prism or Top Scrum, because of the fact this is a set that have almost zero history with soccer. Is actually a special edition. Talking about another Messi, I'm realizing I'm putting a lot of Messis. Well, again, those cards are super interesting, so I have to talk about them. We have Don Ross's 2016, beautiful card, by the way. I actually really like this one. Not a set that I collect, but I thought it was important to put here. If you like autos, this is still a fairly early on for Messi looking at the modern market. You guys are probably aware that 2013 icons are the first autos, but those are still, I would say, quite early, especially comparing with nowadays where Messi signs everything, and I think the photo is actually quite good. Pele rookie with Vav. With Vava, I'm sorry, the set is Vav. A card that I like quite a lot. Sometimes what you can notice on this card is the pink is a bit more powerful than others, and I tend to like those more. This is actually the only Pele rookie I own, and personally, again, I have some bias, but I find this card quite interesting, and the rarity is something that I like. Another card that I cannot bid, as you guys can see, so I cannot bid on that Messi, and I can't bid on this Maradona. Why? Because it's mine. I have this in multiple copies, and I may even upgrade one. So I thought moving this made a lot of sense to me, and I'm always looking for consolidation. I think this is actually a tremendous card. Again, I have some bias, as you guys can imagine, to take everything with a grain of salt and no financial advice. The front have this problem, which tends actually to be a bit common, but the back is actually quite solid, and I like the face of Maradona there. But again, the card is mine, so I have some bias. It's mine, not for a long time. In this case, it's 8 days. Moving on to another tremendous card, we have Lionel Messi Campeón, the Spanish version. I'm a big fan of this card, actually. I said this a couple of times. The reason I like this is a different photo. For example, the 89 is the same photo as the Messi Everon Bis. So for me, and even if you look at the 35, that headshot also appears in other cards, in other stickers. But this one, as far as I'm aware, is actually quite unique. So I really love this card. I would prefer this if this card was Campeón, the Catalan version, since the rarity seems a bit stronger there and also more condition rarity. Moving on, we have Bergman Gerd Muller PSA 6. At one point, the PSA 6 was a crazy grade for this card. Right now, seems like someone is finding a good amount of them without back damage, but it's still a tremendous card. I still think Bergman 65, 66, and even the second year for Beckenbauer and Muller are some of the most beautiful cards in the vintage market. But be careful when it comes to condition rarity, because if your standards are the standards we had 2 or 3 years ago, you may be surprised how much the pops end up increasing for those. There is even worse examples like the Van der Out Cruyff. Moving on to another interesting card, we have Ruiz Romero 53-54 Di Stefano. This is not a true rookie by any means, but is one of the earliest. 53 tends to be the year that people can find stuff for Di Stefano. Di Stefano is also all-time great. By the way, like Muller. Muller is one of the best strikers ever. Di Stefano, I think, is even a bit higher in terms of greatness comparing with Muller, but I guess we can debate that. What we cannot debate is Di Stefano is a key player in the soccer card market. This is a tremendous grade, PSA 7, pop is 1 of 1, none graded higher. So do not be surprised if this goes completely crazy. Di Stefano collectors, from what I've been seeing, they push quite hard for this type of stuff, and looking at the card, actually think looks quite nice. Another Messi, not a lot to say about this one, but I know people love red stuff in Chrome. 2020, again, parallels end up being a bit over the place already this year, but he's still a nice Messi, and he's still with Barcelona, and for me that's the crucial thing. So I'm curious to see how far this can go. Talking about now a Portuguese legend, we have Eusébio, great player, again, an all-time great in my perspective also. Those cards are also done quite a lot. There is a couple of variations when it comes to backs. Do your own research on this front. At 3.5, I thought the eye appealing was quite decent. And I still love this Panini sticker. Now, moving on, we have a Beam Team, Haaland. Why end up putting this on the favorites? Well, I'm not even sure, but I know the Beam Teams are something that people in other sports tend to care. I'm not sure if this will stick in soccer or not. When they end up coming out, they end up being super popular. I think right now the hype end up going away, but the card is very rare, is out of 10, is also a PSA 10, pop 2, and is Haaland with Dortmund, with maybe in the future some people still consider rookie/early card for him, and actually love the look of those Beam Teams. Another card that I cannot beat, as you guys can see, this is also mine, is Melhores Equipas da Europa Thierry Henry, PSA 8. This is actually a tremendous grade. I wish I got this back from PSA months ago, because those cards are down a good amount. PSA is 1 of 9. Check that, because sometimes Pwcc can be wrong. So I'm talking against my card, but yeah, check that. 4 graded higher. This card, when it comes to rarity, is more about condition rarity. True rarity could be the Russian version, even though you have to assess the market in a weekly/monthly basis, because we are in a discovery phase. What we believe can be rare, maybe not that rare, or again, we have to adjust very often when it comes to rarity in the soccer card market. Talking about another card that have some condition rarity for sure is the 85 Edis, Calciatore, Roberto Baggio and Paolo Monielli. You can see they end up messing up the names. They end up putting Paolo Monielli on Baggio and Baggio on Paolo Monielli. I'm not even aware of this player, by the way, but I know the names are swapped. Interesting card for Baggio. I think this is a nice alternative if you don't want to go for the Calciatore that tends to be a bit more, actually quite more common. And Baggio, in terms of greatness for Italian collectors, is up there for sure. This one is cut from the album. I thought at $100 was already doing quite well, but yeah, do not pay a lot for this. I'm being quite frank with you guys. I don't think this type of stuff should be worth a lot. Just my 2 cents there. We have now a Panini World Cup sticker for Pelé, super iconic card, BVG 6. You can argue this could be the most iconic Panini sticker in the entire market. I disagree with that. I actually think it's Cristiano Ronaldo or Zidane, talking about the rookies. But this card is up there, is the first World Cup set, and it's Pelé. I mean, Pelé, I don't have to say anything after that, right? 3 World Cups, what a legend. Now, we have a top chrome green. I end up putting this one for one reason. I believe this is kind of funny because Porto tends to be blue, but in this case is almost a color match. Casillas kit seems greenish, and yeah, I thought was a cool card. Casillas is all-time great when it comes to goalkeepers. Another card that is a huge card for Pelé, this is the Panini Flawless Pitch Perfect. I don't know a lot about Panini Flawless as some other people know. For me, all of them look good, but I know some people pay more for certain variants. It's not a set that I collect, but those are on-card autos and is a historical set in the mod, or have potentially to be a historical set in the modern market. So great card. Let's keep moving. How many pages do I have? I'm actually quite curious about this, because I thought I had much less. I guess I have 4. Okay, I have to go really fast actually. I thought I had 2 for some reason. 1 of 1 for Lionel Messi. This is Pwcc, Inception, beautiful card. Pwcc stuff, not for me, but is a 1 of 1, so I'm curious to see how far this can go. Coleção Titulares Garrincha. I love this set. Again, not a true rookie for Garrincha, even though Pwcc puts rookie on this one. Be careful with that. I mean, it's the first year with Brazil for sure, but still, you can find cards in 57, 55, so saying this is a rookie seems a bit weird, but this is a great card for Garrincha, and the grade is actually quite nice. 1 of 7, just one graded higher. This Ronaldo at one point, I believe, was mine. Not sure why the person is selling it right now. I like this one quite a lot. I end up selling this similar to what I'm doing right now, because I end up upgrading to a PSA 8. But if you look at pop reports, those are still fairly low. So I'm a huge fan of this card. David Beckham, iconic player, no doubt about that. I feel like the correction on the Merlin stickers is huge, so maybe you can start looking at them again. There is some condition rarity, and I thought this PSA 9 was a nice copy, even though it would be a bit better when it comes to centering. PSA 8 Mbappé, the reason I cannot bid on this one is because this card is also mine, and I'm very upset with PSA, not gonna lie, because they end up giving me the huge slab. This should not go for a lot. I know those are down a good amount, but it's a cool card if you are an Mbappé collector. I believe there is also another PSA 8.5 on the auction if you don't want to go for mine, and if the 0.5 more on the grade makes a difference for you. Now we have Aquarela Garrincha. I love also the look of this card, similar logic to Pelé. If you want a Garrincha on the 58, I frankly think this is also one of the best alternatives. Beautiful card, and this set can become iconic actually. Prism 2014 Paul Pogba, Blue Pulsar. Really cool card. Pogba, in terms of greatness, I guess gets a bit more debatable. I love those blue pulsars, as you guys are aware. I have a Messi blue pulsar, and is one of my favorite cards. If you do not know, now you know. Those cards are out of 55, even though they are not numbered on the back, but they end up having that short printed. My favorite player ever, Ronaldinho 2002, PSA 9. I love this sticker. I know it's down a lot, but I still love this sticker. His time at PSG was great, and I have Ronaldinho up there when it comes to greatness, even though some people disagree. Of course, I have some bias for Ronaldinho. Not a lot to say about Einerl. I always like to see them appearing on the market. This is a tremendous Di Stefano. This card is interesting. Ferex Cenas Deportivas. Kubala at the time was one of the best players in the world, and I know those cards tend to do well. For example, for Di Stefano. So I'm really curious to see if Kubala can also get some love. Melhores equipas Europa again. In this case, for Ronaldo. PSA 9. This is a tremendous grade. You can see PSA population 1 of 3, non-graded higher, and I like this card. I like the fact that he is with Inter Milan. Should go for a lot? I'm not sure, maybe not, but he's a really interesting card. Rio Ferdinand, rookie. You guys may recognize this background also from the Frank Lampard rookie. Beautiful sticker for him, and I thought he was a tremendous central defender at Manchester United. The market does not appreciate him that much for some reason, but actually I'm a big fan of him. Again, what the hell is PSA doing with this level? I don't know. PSA 8 insert for Lionel Messi. I find this beautiful. I'm also trying to upgrade mine, but still beautiful card. Now we have a gold. I'm not even sure when I'm putting those, but okay. I have a gold Zidane with Juventus Stadium Club. Actually, I remember when I'm putting those. So this is a small rant, I would say. Be careful with legends that are not playing anymore. You guys remember when Chrome or I believe even Finance ended up appearing with those for the first time. People paid stupid amounts of money for Ronaldo's, for Zidane's. Right now they are down quite. They're down a lot basically. So yeah, be careful with that because Topps, Panini, they will keep do this type of stuff, and cards that are not on playing days, big no for me, even though if people disagree, that's fine. Look, I end up showing you a Flawless Pelé. I think that's a bit different, because Flawless as a set is an iconic set or have the potential to be one, not a Stadium Club 2022-2023, even though the card looks nice. Same logic as the... almost as the Aquarela for Garrincha. I think this is a great card. Didi also helps a lot. Didi was the best player on the World Cup 58, if you guys are not aware. This one, fun card. I always like this card for Cruyff because the colors are the correct colors for Ajax. 10-10 SCC Topps Chrome Auto for Müller. Tremendous card. I love to collect this set. Some people may like the normal version a bit more, but if you are a Müller fan, this auto is probably also that you would enjoy. Another blue name, I believe this is blank back for Eusebio at 67. This seems like a nice grade, but take a look at Pops. This one also a really cool card for Ronaldinho. Those are you can find those in Japan if you take a look at Bahia, for example, but a 7 seems like a decent grade. Alan Shearer, amazing player. Those autos, those Panini Nobility autos, they have a lot of people looking for them, and I think he was a great player. Same logic as the Messi insert, beautiful one for Cristiano Ronaldo. Suarez Gold, I thought was important to put this one also here. Why? Suarez recently on Topps Chrome ended up going for 3K. If people believe Suarez will have a market in the future, and that sale almost hints at that, I think even those golds for Suarez, they have a lot of potential. Xavi Hernandez PSA 3, not the best grade, but maybe if you are in a budget, this could be a nice card to target. This one, no particular reason, I just like this set, the 2009 Panini. This was the first year where Ronaldo and Messi ended up playing in La Liga together, and Iniesta was also a big star there. Not sure if I will continue with this because I basically ended up already covering the cards I wanted. Let's take a look at the cap I'm putting here. Again, this one of 4, I was a bit surprised since this is out of 50, but cool card for Antoine Griezmann. Also beautiful card for Iniesta. Okay, I guess those are the ones I actually end up looking or losing. So I end up losing this one, and I was also taking a look at those. So let's not go there because I also don't want to spoil my buys or bids. Even though, so from time to time I do it. PSA 9, Cristiano Ronaldo. Beautiful card again, similar logic to the Messi one. Down much more than the Messi. but still an important card for him. This one I'm putting here because I thought those green crystals look amazing on Mundicromo. This card is also down quite a lot, but is still fairly low pop, and Robben, one of my favorite players of the pre-modern era, and Prism is one of the best options. This out of 99, again, not the biggest fan of the purple parallel, but I'm curious to see how this goes. That said, my friends, hope you end up enjoying this video. Do not forget to leave a like, really means a lot. Take a look at my links, scan the QR code you're seeing on the screen. If you are listening to me on the phone, you cannot scan the QR code. I leave the link also on the description /comment, so click that if you want to support the channel. Have a nice day and see you guys next week.